Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to this video where I'll show you the best way to stake to maximize gains while also not living as a poor person while waiting for it. Because technically speaking, the best way to maximize gains would be to make every single stake 5-5-5-5, you know? But there's a few problems with that because after that's over, the best way to do it again is 5-5-5-5, and like you'll never spend any of your money if you just do 5-5-5-5 stakes the rest of your life. So there's also another reason that's not great is, let's say you plan to do 5-5-5-5 and then just take the money or stake a little bit more and take some of your gains. In 7-8 years, when you're on paper a millionaire and you're still very poor because you don't have any money, that emergency end stake button is going to look very juicy. So to avoid those problems, I've thought of a way of staking that I think is pretty good. So first off, I'll show you what we're starting with. We're starting with 800,000 hex, and I go 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 100k each. So 800k hex is not unachievable, especially if you got in earlier than maybe 5 cents. But I put the price of Pulse. I was pretty conservative about the price of Pulse, I must say. The first gap, the first year to 3 years is pretty big. It's a times 10x, but then this one doubled, 2 cents, 2 cents, 2 cents, 2 cents. So by year 15, the price is supposed to be 12 cents. I think that's pretty darn conservative, but I didn't want to be unreasonable with my predictions. I was a little less conservative about the price of hex. I went $1, $4, $8, 12, 25, 50, 75. So $100 at the end of 15 years, which I don't think is super unreasonable as well. So let's get on with it. This is after 1 year, your first stake ends. You staked 100, you get 113, and USD 113k. I say you take 90% and put it in a 5-5-5-5 15-year stake, and then 10% you put in a Pulse. You could keep it in hex if you want, but I think Pulse is just kind of spreading out your risks, making sure you have something that might grow, might stay similar, but you could keep it in hex, 10% just hex liquid, or there are other things you could keep it in, USDC. But for my example, I just picked Pulse. And you only get $11,000 to put in a Pulse. You get 11 million Pulse at my number right here. So pretty boring the first year. It'll grow as it goes on. This is year 3, 100k to 154k. But now the USD value is $600,000. Year 3, 600,000, same thing, 90%, 10%. So here's what the Pulse is: 6 million into 11 million. You have 17 million, 175k in Pulse. And with this, you could start spending some money, to be honest. If you don't want to spend your Pulse directly, you can use liquid loans and get about 100k out of this, I'd say, safely. And not going to change your life with 100k, but it's better than having nothing. And you still have these huge stakes going into the future. This is more about creating generational wealth than it is about anything else, because at the end of this plan, you'll have 30 years of earning money. And if you continue it, you'll have a lifetime, or your children's lifetimes, of earning money as well. So this is more about building stakes for generational wealth. And once the machine gets going, it's very, very nice. So year 5, 100k, 118k, 218, 1.7 million, real nice. You might be tempted to spend some, but you stick to your guns. 1.5, send in a 5-5-5 stake, 15 years. 175 into Pulse. Now we're at 26 million. We got $500,000 in Pulse, according to my strategy, and that's pretty good. You could probably get 400k liquid loans from that, tax free, and that's all right. You could get a nice car, maybe get a nice watch, but still not life-changing amounts. But having this money will certainly make it easier to not emergency end stake these stakes you have. Year 7, This is when you get $3 million, almost 300,000 hex. Hex is $12. 3 million into 555, 300,000 into pulse. Turn that into pulse. You look at your pulse, now you got $1.4 million in pulse. You could get about, depending on the volatility of pulse, you could get maybe $1 million out of liquid loans tax free. So you could maybe even get a nice house now. You know, so year 7, you're able to buy maybe a nice house with 10%. You have to keep that in mind, that this is only 10%. And you could be using this pulse to earn more money, to be honest. You could be adding liquidity if you really wanted to. Or whatever you decide to do, you could be using this money to make more money. It's very easy in crypto. So year 9, 400k hex from 100. $10.5 million. My God, those numbers are going up. Stick to your guns. 9.5 million for your children, or 15 years from in the future. 555 $1 million to pulse, and you can see now you have $3 million. Year 9, you'll have $3 million just from your shaving off some savings, and this is pretty nice. Like, you know, you can really live in. We'll see how inflation works out, but I think that $3 million will definitely keep you satisfied while you wait the next 6 years. Keep going. 500k, $26 million. That number is really getting up there. But we want generational wealth for our children, so we're sending it down the line. We're not going to be greedy. We're only taking 10% and putting it into our pulse savings. 86 million pulse, $7 million. You can do pretty much whatever you like. You could probably retire at this point. And that's a pretty good down the road goal for people, is just being able to not have to work. Up to this point, hopefully you've been putting money into hex, putting money into pulse. You could be adding more to your stack, but this is simply 800k. Projected earnings for year 13, $47 million. My God, we're starting to get so excited. I'm sure your Staker apps has 100 million, 150 million, 200 million maybe. Looking nice with these huge T-share amounts. We get 43 million into our stakes, 4 million into pulse. We've already got a ton of pulse, $13 million. We're just stacking on. We appreciate the work we did in the past, and we are delaying our gratification. And finally, year 15, our original stakes finally end. We get $74 million worth of hex. Lock that up for another 15 years. This is going to be 30 years from originally starting this point right now. 30 years from now, this will be ending. You get 7.4 million, turn it into pulse. You got a nice nest egg of $23 million. You're chilling, and this is 10% of your money that you've been using. $23 million, and you have so many T-shares, so many money printers going at this point that you're just set. And what's really amazing about this is now when it gets over to year 16, this stake from the beginning, year 1 stake, this 15-year stake that was 100k hex, is now going to be ticking over. And year 16, you're going to be getting a huge payout in hex, and really, you're going to just be able to keep it up. As long as you keep to the system of 90%, 15 years, 555, 90%, and then 10% you take out, just keep the system going. You could have wealth for your children and your grandchildren while also living a relatively nice life with this amount you've been able to save. So I think that this is the best between taking all of it out and being greedy and spending all your money at the start, or going 5-5-5-5 and staking all your money at the end, being pretty rich but having a really poor, low standard of life in the meanwhile, you know? So I really think that this strategy, if you are not sure what you want to do, this could be a strategy that you could use. It's very simple, no need to do calculations, no need to do anything else. Every end stake you do, 9%, pay it forward 5-5-5-5, 10%, do whatever you like with that money. I think this is a great strategy that will really pay dividends, and I think that if you don't know what you want to do exactly, you should really consider doing this. Thanks a lot for watching. If you stuck around, guys, I'll see you later.